In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bet slate for Monday, April 1st. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our April 1st NBA bet slate on Monday. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. I'm going to touch on that very, very soon. Right now, we are at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 3.02 thousand subscribers. You guys are pouring in. Thank you so much. The goal is 5K. The goal is 5K. Let's see how fast we can get to that 5K number. And then obviously after that is going to be 10K, but we're going to be pushing for 5K. So let's see what we're able to do. And let's look at this Patreon, all right? This Patreon has been on fire. The chat, we're building a community over here. We were red hot in college basketball. That was a sweep. And we were red hot in NBA, all right? Right now, NBA is 7 out of 9. We're waiting on one game to come through. But baseball was but that's fine. We still had a smash, a complete sweep. We had the underdog NC State, and as you can see, one of the Patreon members took my plays and created this beautiful parlay here. Beautiful parlay. Put $60 on it. He had full confidence. These were my higher tier plays here. Put Purdue together with the Denver Nuggets and a big underdog in NC State. Came out with $522. So phenomenal parlay he put together with the plays that I provided. That's what we're providing in here. We have a group chat. Everyone's putting out plays down there. We have other hits. We had this crazy. I had this one. Oh, this one right here. Dodgers, you get them at a great value when they're down. They came back, got them at a plus 580. We had this crazy hit right here, a Josh Giddey. That was by me. Josh Giddey with a triple double, 10 for 420. 10 for 420. Crazy hits on Patreon. So if you want winning plays, man, sign up for that Patreon link provided down below. First game on the slate for Monday will be the Boston Celtics. Currently 58-16, going against the Charlotte Hornets, 18-56. The Hornets team, this is the second game of a back-to-back here. Looking at the current odds, this is absolutely ridiculous. Minus 2,000 on the money line for the Boston Celtics, plus 950 on the comeback of the Charlotte Hornets. The current point spread right now is 17.5. Asinine number, 17.5. I don't really want to even choose this one, but for the total, 218.5. Looking at the public bet percentage, 96% of the bets, 82% of the money towards Celtics to win. For the point spread, 64% of the bets and money towards the Celtics to cover. And then for the total, 86% of the bets and 87% of the money towards the over 218.5. For the injury report, right now, we're waiting on news about Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis. Both of those guys are questionable for the game on Monday. All right. For the injury report for the Hornets, Seth Curry out for the year. Cody Martin out for the year. We're waiting on news for Alexei. He is currently questionable. Okay. Now, these two teams have already played, and they're going to face another time coming up later in April, but they already played, and that went all the way to overtime. That total was 239, and that was a Charlotte Hornets win. So you got a little motivation here. Boston Celtics already losing to Charlotte, which is embarrassing anyway. But Celtics coming off back-to-back losses to the Atlanta Hawks. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans, so hopefully they're getting back into gear right now. And then Hornets are struggling as of late. As you can see, they have lost, 4 out of their last 5 games? Let's double check that. They have lost, yes, they have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. So where can we find value? My best option here is the total. That first total in that first game was 239 points. 218 is too low for me. I would hop on this number right now before it gets to where it's supposed to be, around that 225 area. Watch by the morning time. That number is going to go up from 218, but it definitely get on this number right now. I love the over. That's the best value on the board. If you want to play with this point spread, I'll give you some numbers. All right, this is the second game of a back-to-back for the Charlotte Hornets. With no rest, the Charlotte Hornets are 8-5 against the spread. If you want, you take that with a grain of salt. This is the Charlotte Hornets, and you do have the Boston Celtics team that can just blow out any team. So if you want to play with that 17.5, the numbers are on the side of the Hornets to cover this number. All right, 17.5 is pretty high. And if we're looking at over-unders with no rest, the Charlotte Hornets are 8-5 towards the over. So this is why I like the over. I know Celtics are going to put up points. Hornets just got to carry their own weight, and they should. They put up a very solid number on Sunday, and that was 118. So, hey, that's all we need. That's all we need. That's perfect. That's perfect. So give me the over in 218, and that's the only play I'm going to give you. If you want to play with that point spread, that's on you. Next game up, we have a battle of two of the worst teams in the league. Memphis Grizzlies 24-50 going up against the Detroit Pistons 13-61. Looking at the odds here, you have the Pistons on the money line at a -155, and on the comeback with the Grizzlies at a +125 on the money line. All right, point spread currently is at a 3.5 for both sides, and the total is at 213.5. All right, for the public bet percentage, 69% of the bets, 71% of the money towards the Pistons to win. For the point spread, 52% of the bets are towards Detroit to cover, 57% of the money is toward Memphis to cover. And for the total, 92% of the bets and 90% of the money is toward the over 213.5. All right, so injury report for these two teams, injuries galore, especially for Memphis. All season long, really. But Santi Aldama is currently questionable. Desmond Bane is going to be out. And John Conchar is doubtful. So he's going to be out as well. All right. For the Detroit Pistons, we're waiting on news for Cade Cunningham and Marcus Sasser. Two main point guards here. You got the starting point guard and the backup point guard. Highly questionable for this game on Monday. And Isaiah Stewart, as you see, he's out for the year. All right. Asar Thompson and Isaiah Stewart out for the year. So they're missing a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. These two teams have already played in December. That was a 14-point win by the Memphis Grizzlies, and that was in Detroit. This game is in Detroit yet again. And that total was 218 in that particular game. Both of these teams are similar. They're struggling. All right. Same thing. Losing 4 out of the last 5 games. They come into this one. One of the bad teams has to win. All right. So where are we going to be leaning towards? This is where we go on to the numbers. All right. As favorites against the spread, as favorites, the Detroit Pistons are 3-4. All right. Under 500 as favorites. As underdogs here, the Memphis Grizzlies are 30-26 as underdogs, so above 500. And away, the Memphis Grizzlies are 21-16 against the spread. Those are positive numbers I want to lean on. You see my thumbnail, Jaren Jackson Jr. He's going to have to be the key cog in here. We're going to go complete sweep here, all right? Give me Grizzlies money line. Give me Grizzlies to cover the 3.5. That's going to be the safe play. And for the over-under, I dug deep for this, the over-under here. The Memphis Grizzlies for the entire season are 33-38 towards the under. And this special stat here, the Detroit Pistons as home favorites, none of their games have gone over. They're 0-7. 0-7 over-under as home favorites. We're going to rock that under there. Give me the under 213.5. So that's moneyline Grizzlies, the +3.5 Grizzlies, and the under 213. Next game up, we have the Brooklyn Nets, 29-46, going up against the Indianapolis Pacers, 42-33. Looking at the current odds, the Pacers on the money line are at a -650, with the comeback of the Brooklyn Nets at a +475. The point spread is at a 12.5 for both sides, and the total is set at 228. 28.5. All right. For the public bet percentage, 92% of the bets are towards the Pacers money line, but 62% of the money is towards the Nets money line. All right. So this could be a spot where you got a sneaky underdog here. That's why those numbers are adjusted like that. For the point spread, we have 68% of the bets towards Pacers to cover, and then 85% of the money towards the point spread of the Pacers to cover. For the total, 78% of the bets, 74% of the money towards the over 228.5. For the injury report, none of these people matter. KTI's been out for a week now. Ben Simmons is out for the year. Dariq Whitehead is a non-factor, and Benedict Mathurin is out for the year as well. So we're looking at these two teams here. They've already played once about 2 weeks ago. That was a blowout win by the Pacers, and that total was 221 in that game. All right, the Nets are mediocre, winning 3 out of the last 5 games, and so are the Pacers, winning 3 out of the last 5 games. I don't see the discrepancy of this line here at 12.5. I think that's a lot. I get it. The Brooklyn Nets are in the second game of the back-to-back. They just played on Sunday, getting beat by double digits by the Los Angeles Lakers. But now here, Pacers are a very untrustworthy team. All right, we're looking at against the spread numbers as favorites. The Pacers are 16-18 as favorites. That's under 500. As home favorites, they're 11-13 against the spread. So that's under 500 yet again. The Nets aren't that good as well, covering numbers as well. 13-24 away against the spread and 17-28 as underdogs. But I just saw them not cover in that game on Sunday against the Lakers. I expect them to bounce back in this one, at least cover this number at plus 12.5. So give me the Brooklyn Nets here at plus 12.5. Give me all those points. I do not trust the Pacers at all. And for the total here, we're going to go with the over, all right? With no rest, the Brooklyn Nets are 7-5 towards the over. And as home favorites, the Indianapolis Pacers are 13-12 towards the over. So 228, I think both of these teams put up points. The first game between them was 221, so it's somewhere around that range. Maybe the Nets score a little bit more, so it's not a blowout. And then you get the over, 228.5. Next game, we have the Portland Trail Blazers, 19-55, going up against the Orlando Magic, 43-31. We have another huge spread here. Orlando Magic on the money line at a minus 2,000. Portland coming back at a plus 950. Point spread currently at 16.5, with the total at 207.5. So we do have to consider, do we want to approach this like the Celtics and Hornets game? Let's go with the public bet percentage here. 92% of the bets, 97% of the money, obviously towards Magic to win. 61% of the bets, 62% of the money towards Orlando to cover. And the total, 87% of the bets, 92% of the money towards the over 207.5. For the injury report here, Shaedon Sharpe is in the G League, working his way back. And Matisse Thybulle is out for this game. For the Orlando Magic, Jonathan Isaac and Gary Harris are going to be probable for this game. They're going to be back. So that's a positive sign for the Orlando Magic, who are a very strong team at home. These two teams have already played, and that was only a 5-point win in October. That total was 199, so very low total in that particular game. But here, this is a whole different cup of coffee right now. Portland Trail Blazers are struggling. They're on a 9-game losing streak. Orlando has been a little bit inconsistent, facing some Western Conference teams, but these were the upper echelon in Western Conference. They struggled against Sacramento, Golden State, the Clippers. They destroyed the Memphis Grizzlies, and now they're going up against the Portland Trail Blazers. I think I have confidence in them when you're looking at this spread. If we're looking at against the spread numbers, they're 25-10 against the spread at home. As home favorites, they're 17-5, covering 17-5. So, hey, Orlando Magic, I like them to win by double digits. I'll give you minus 9.5. Let's take the minus 9.5. If you want to be confident and take the 16.5, go ahead, be my guest. but I'm not trusting the Portland Trail Blazers 100%, not at all. All right. And if we're choosing the over/under, 207 is just a little bit too low. I get it. The first game was only 199, but that was all the way in the beginning of the season. I think Portland Trail Blazers, they'll put some more points up on the board here, and at least get this total to around that 210 range. So give me the over 207.5. And I do trust the Magic, but I'm going to be giving you the -9.5. All right. Next matchup, Phoenix Suns, who are currently 43-31, going up against the New Orleans Pelicans, who are 45-29. We got a Western Conference battle here. Suns, if we're looking at the odds on the money line as the current favorites, it's pretty much a pick'em game. All right. When you see that 1.5, it's pretty much a pick'em. Money line for the Suns, -115. Pelicans on the get back at a -105. Point spread, like I said, at a 1.5. Total is at 224.5. All right. For the public bet percentage, this one's mixed. All right. 54% of the bets towards the Pelicans, but 97% of the money towards the Phoenix Suns. All right. For the point spread, 60% of the bets, 55% of the money towards the Suns to cover. And for the total, 84% of the bets, 82% of the money towards the over 224.5. All right. For the injury report, Suns are fine. The Pelicans, they're still without Brandon Ingram with a contusion, and Jose Alvarado will not play in this game as well. All right. These two teams have already played so far in this year, and that was a New Orleans Pelicans home game. That was a 14-point blowout. That total was 232. All right, so they're facing today, in April 1st, and then they face one more time on Sunday. So they're going to be very familiar with each other coming up very, very soon here. Both of these teams are winning 3 out of their last 5 games. So very mediocre in their little last 5 stretch here. Where are we going to be leaning towards? Because people seem to be a little to the left and a little to the right. They're not really sure here. So what we're going to be going towards, let's look at against the spread numbers. The Phoenix Suns are 15-19 against the spread away. As favorites, the Phoenix Suns against the spread are 22-30 as favorites. So both those numbers under 500. All right. This team tends to not cover spreads away and as favorites. And as away favorites, they are 9-14 against the spread. So another under 500 mark. For the Pelicans, they play better at home, and they play better as underdogs. So 19-15 against the spread at home, and as underdogs, 16-10 as underdogs against the spread. So those are numbers I'm going to be leaning towards. Give me the Pelicans point spread at +1.5. Nice safe pick right there. Give me the Pelicans in this spot, in this game. If we're choosing the over/under, I'm going to be leaning towards the under in this game. All right. Give me the under 224.5. I get it. The first game that they played was at 232. But the way these two teams are struggling to score as of right now, we had a 103 from the Phoenix Suns against Oklahoma, only 104 against Denver, only 102 against San Antonio. The Pelicans are without some of their scorers here, and they only scored 92 against Denver, 107 against Milwaukee. I think that 224 is a little bit high. If it was around 210, 215, that's a little bit fair, right? I think that's where this game is going to fall between. So give me the under 224.5. So that's point spread at +1.5 Pelicans and the under 224.5. Last but not least, we have Atlanta Hawks here, currently 34-40, going against the Chicago Bulls, 36-39. Look at the current odds here. Bulls are favorited right now at home, -145, with the comeback of the Atlanta Hawks at a +120. The current spread is at a 2.5, and the total is at 223.5. This Bulls team is on the second game of a back-to-back. They just beat the Minnesota Timberwolves here. So that was a huge upset in that particular game. Looking at the public bet percentage, 87% of the money, 71% of the bets towards the Bulls money line. For the point spread, 58% of the bets, 59% of the money towards the Bulls to cover. And for the total, 86% of the bets, 88% of the money towards the over 223.5. All right. For the injury report here, the Atlanta Hawks, Okongwu is currently questionable, and so is Jalen Johnson. He's questionable as well. For the Bulls, there's no significant injuries. All those guys you see are out for the year. For these two teams, they already played twice already. Both games going towards the Chicago Bulls. The first game was a total of 231. The second game was a total of 262. Both of these teams, well, no. The Atlanta Hawks are red hot, winning 4 out of the last 5 and beating the Boston Celtics twice. So phenomenal there. Chicago Bulls are very up and down, Jekyll and Hyde team. Second game of a back-to-back. They just beat Minnesota. So trying to trust them in the spot is a little bit icky. It feels weird. You're looking at the spread. They're favorited. This one here, I'm going to have to go with the hot team. All right. So I'm going to give out Atlanta Hawks plus 2.5. I get it. Their numbers throughout the whole entire year has been horrible covering spreads. But the last 5 games, they've been very, very impressive, playing hard and playing with heart, trying to solidify that 8th spot. For the Bulls here, they have been struggling. They're very finicky. They're 15-15 against the spread as favorites. At home, they're 16-20 against the spread. That's under 500. So all these numbers are very flaky. With no rest, they're 6-6 against the spread, 50-50. There's no line here. So my most confident play is the over 223.5. Both of these teams put up points at a very high rate all year long. The Hawks, 38-32 towards the over in all their games. And as home favorites, Chicago Bulls are 8-4. Towards the over. So love the over 223.5. That's my top play. I advise you to stay away from the money line and the spread because it's very ugly between these two teams. Give me the over 223.5. All right. That's last but not least right there. That's it for this slate on Monday. So I thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in that comment section down below. Do you have some props? Do you have any other angles here in the games that I just went over? Maybe you disagree with me. Let me know in that comment section down below. And also, guys, sign up for the Patreon. That link is provided down below where you can join the community in Patreon. We're having a great time in that chat as well. And I'll be back with another video very soon. All right. Peace out.